Pokemon on the 3DS. The main games, the side games. But what about the ones that connected to your 3DS and took 3 AA batteries and read those tokens to battle Pokemon? What am I talking about, you ask? I'm talking about this. Pokemon Tretta Lab for the Nintendo 3DS. Why don't we do an ACMR opening part of this to add some class to the video? And definitely not just to make the video longer or anything. Alright, that's enough. Any longer and I'd have to change the name of the channel. Originally an arcade machine in Japan, then it got ported to the 3DS. The arcade machine, released only in Japan, dispensed these tokens when you caught a Pokemon that you can scan into the game to battle with. Or in this case, the 3DS Tretta Lab accessory. Since it's released back in 2013, the accessory is for the old 3DS. And of all the ways to connect to the 3DS, like the infrared port or even the cable port, the device connects to the 3DS by using the cameras. Inside the box you'll find a holder for the regular and the XL 3DS, the starter Pokemon tokens, and a QR code to download the game. The game itself is free to download. Now let's put the batteries in and start the game. Now of course the game is in Japanese, but luckily I know Japanese. And by know Japanese I mean using my phone to translate. First you have to do the initial check and whatnot to set it up, and now you're in the game. Well, since this is sort of a accompanying game to the arcade, it doesn't have the catching mode from the arcade, which makes sense because it's not going to dispense a new Pokemon token here. In the menu, you'll find a Tetra Analyzer to check your Tetra chips and see information about them. Or you can take a look at the 3D model of the chip in the game and even rotate it, even though it's literally 3 inches from your screen right here. You can see the HP and other stats on here, which are also on the back of these Tetra chips. There's a type checker mode here that lets you know which Pokemon would attack first and what type their moveset is, and whatnot and all that. But the real core of the game is the battle modes. An auto battle mode where you put Pokemon chips into your scanner and they fight automatically. You can pit 2 of your Pokemon against each other. You can see which one of your Pokemon is the strongest, or maybe people would battle each other if they had like a friend with a game or more of these Tetra Pucks. In my case, Mewtwo wiped the floor with everyone else, which makes sense. There's another battle mode where it's basically a single player mode where you fight Pokemon generated by the computer, and there's 4 difficulties: easy, normal, hard, and the hardest difficulty. Just scan a puck here and the battles are automatic. You get to use 2 Pokemon per round and you unlock the next difficulty when you beat the previous one. Unfortunately, the ones I got here are kind of weak. Lucario isn't bad, and Mewtwo is the only one who stands a chance against the computer, which keeps putting me against legendary Pokemon of all things, so of course Pichu here is going to lose to them. So I bought some loose Tetra chips or pucks or whatever you want to call them to have some more Pokemon on my team. Magikarp, Marill, Meowth, and Flareon. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that some of these were not going to be compatible with the 3DS Tretta Lab, as they were newer pucks from 2014 and 2015. Possibly only for the arcade machine. I guess I should have checked on the online description. Plus the pucks are different colors than the orange ones that come with the game. But one of these did work. This Flareon here was compatible and was actually a pretty good Pokemon in the game. Even with these new Pokemon, I couldn't beat the game. My Pokemon are just too weak. Especially when they keep putting me against like these Pokemon right here. Mewtwo just couldn't do it all alone. So I guess I'll have to buy more pucks in the future if I want to keep playing the game and try to beat it. Maybe different types of Pokemon moves so I can have more advantages over the weaknesses and strengths of Pokemon moves. And like I mentioned before, that is the unfortunate part. The only way to get more Pokemon is to buy more, as it's the only way to get more of these chips or pucks nowadays. Even if the arcade machine was released, I'm about a decade too late, as Pokemon Tretta Lab was discontinued in 2014. It was replaced by another arcade machine called Pokemon Gaulle. Dang, I played this game too late, and on the other side of the world. Even so, nowadays, I guess you can compare these Tetra Pucks to amiibos, as you scan them into your games. But it was interesting to collect and scan these pucks because you could collect them all, if you will. It's more of a thing that'll be left in the past, as convenience in games will always prevail, instead of something that requires extra peripherals and extra accessories when you can just have an app on your phone or something. Speaking of amiibo, what if I try to use a new 3DS with the Tretta Lab and scan an amiibo? Okay, new 3DS connected. Amiibo scanning. Is this supposed to smoke like that? Uh-oh.